You almost went no contact with your parents after they showed you at least one of these movies that was allegedly made for children. In Return to Oz, Dorothy gets electroshock therapy, visits a version of Kansas made out of sand and fever dream memories, and makes friends with a talking couch and a witch's head. Your parents really sat you down for family movie night, watched you sob through 90 minutes of psychiatric horror disguised as a children's sequel, and then asked if you wanted popcorn. And that's when you first realized they either had no idea what they subjected you to, or they genuinely enjoyed watching you suffer, and now you have medical anxiety. A boy discovers that successful women are actually child-eating monsters who turn kids into mice, and Angelica Houston removes her face like a nightmarish skin routine. Your parents watched you hyperventilate during the transformation scene and patted your head and said, "It's just pretend, sweetie," while you developed a lifelong fear of hotel conferences and women in sensible shoes. The fact that they thought mass child off-screening was appropriate viewing for a Tuesday night has made you question their judgment and protective instincts to this day. A family moves to a mansion where a girl disappeared 30 years ago, and her spirit communicates through backwards writing and broken mirrors that spell out cosmic horror nonsense in this Disney-produced horror movie. You became afraid of your own reflection, started sleeping with the lights on, and developed an irrational fear that moving houses would result in supernatural possession. When your parents dismissed your new sleep disorders as just a phase, you realized they were more invested in their own rest than addressing the trauma they had just inflicted on you. A man-child searches for his stolen bike through a nightmare landscape featuring Large Marge's face-morphing truck stop horror show and a claymation dinosaur that looks like he crawled out of the underworld. You developed a crippling fear of truck drivers, couldn't look at stop-motion animation without panicking, and became convinced that losing your bike would trigger a psychological breakdown. Now you still have to check to make sure you locked your car 4 times before you walk away from it, and your parents don't understand why you struggle with eye contact. A boy befriends monsters who live under his bed and antagonize sleeping children for sport, featuring creatures that look like what happens when you put every Baskin-Robbins ice cream flavor into a blender. You became convinced your bedroom was a portal to the bad place, developed chronic insomnia, spent years checking under furniture for demon activity, and were taught that the solution to childhood fears was to literally befriend them. And your parents wonder why you keep ending up in toxic relationships. You watched a cartoon rabbit get framed for something incredibly dark in a movie where beloved animated characters get dissolved in toxic liquid, and your parents laughed, which taught you that adults find the destruction of childhood innocence genuinely entertaining, and parental movie recommendations might actually be psychological experiments disguised as bonding time. And if you're like, "But Auntie Tawny, my parents let me watch the uncut Texas Chainsaw, Blair Witch, Poltergeist, and The Hills Have Eyes, and Halloween Elm Street, these aren't anything," I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this. Those were supposed to be scary, they were not kids' movies, and this is for your parents.